Hi, my name is Jennifer Lercara, and I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about your PTSD and a treatment modality that we can have for that. Let's quick talk about post-traumatic stress disorder and what that actually means. This typically develops when you have had a traumatic event in your life. So for you, you came in seeking, some help with the traumatic event that happened, and it was causing you symptoms because things would trigger the memory of that traumatic event, and it kind of can set you off. Can cause nightmares, make you have distressing memories that could be linked to the trauma. And then this can lead to an avoidance of certain things. So if your nightmare was about water because you had a traumatic experience, and you almost drowned, anything water related, being near the ocean, could all cause symptoms to trigger this and make you avoid things and have a stress response to that. So we want to try and help get past some of those triggers. And the thought behind this of what causes this is an overreaction in the amygdala and the inner part of the brain, and it can cause a disproportionate threat. So because you had these events that happened to you, it causes this heightened reaction. And one of the treatments that we can do for this is EMDR, or eye movement desensitization and a reprocessing. And it's what this can you do. It's a faster modality that can help you overcome some of these symptoms, and basically it helps heal your brain just like a physical cut would heal, by removing the block from the traumatic injury, and then it can start to heal. If the system is blocked or imbalanced because of the disturbing events, then you can suffer more. So we want to try and eliminate some of that. And EMDR uses an 8-phase treatment to do this. So it helps shift the feelings from this was traumatic to maybe I survived this and I can get through this. So it uses the same processes that rapid eye movement REM sleep does, and it helps to get over those feelings. So let's talk about kind of the phases that you go through to deal with this. The therapist will take a full history to understand what is causing the emotional distress, what the traumatic event was, and we'll start working on some skills and things to help you start working through this. And then the initial EMDR processing will start even maybe way back from childhood, if that has anything to do with it, contingent on what your traumatic event was and when it happened. During the second phase of treatment, they'll go over many different ways of handling the emotional distress, stress reduction techniques that you can use between sessions. And a goal of EMDR is to produce rapid and effective change while the client maintains equilibrium during and between sessions. So whereas cognitive behavior therapy or something like that may be, spread out, EMDR is a quicker, effective method for this. Phases 3 through 6 for this, once the target of the trauma is identified, the client will identify 3 things: the vivid visual image related to the memory. So again, let's use the water. It was the summer 10 years ago and I was swimming and I almost drowned. And they may talk about like the visual things that were surrounding that and what your brain looks at when you're thinking of that memory. A negative belief about yourself also, and related emotion and body sensations that happen when you're identifying this trauma. So once that happens, the client, you will be instructed to focus on the image, the negative thought, and the body sensations while simultaneously engaging in the EMDR process using bilateral stimulation. So this could be eye movements, taps, tones, and it varies for different people, and different therapists use different things. And then at this point, you would be instructed to just notice whatever spontaneously happens. And then after each stimulation, you'll be instructed to let your mind go blank and allow for whatever thought processes is coming in there. So once that is completed, depending on your response and what happens, these sets will be repeated, and focused attention can occur throughout the session. When you finally report no distress related to the targeted memory, and then you can refer to a positive belief that you have picked at the beginning of the session. So now you've taken that negative traumatic and now you've changed it into something positive. Like I said, like, oh, I survived that, I lived, instead of having that stress response. Then we have succeeded in what we were trying to do. Then the remaining, you can keep a log to kind of track your feelings, if you're triggered, and anything that should arise, and then go back to those self-calming activities and the cognitive and the different change of thought patterns to do that. And then that is kind of what you'll be going through. So I hope that helps.